so he was in care up until about 10 or 11, and like he had a really hard upbringing. Well, he kind of had to bring himself up, I guess, and he went and chose to drop out of school, didn't finish GCSEs or anything, and he joined the Navy, and then he went to France for a year or two and just picked up grapes from the fields. One thing I missed, when he was in school, he used to sell stamps, and I did something very similar. I used to sell sweets in school, but yeah, he used to sell stamps in school, and he used to collect stamps and sell them, and that was his kind of passion, you know. He ran a shop in the West End, a stamp shop. When he used to get drunk, he would jump on the table and he'd go, like Tarzan. He was never a pressuring parent. I respected him so much as a figure. He's really cool. Like when I hear stories about my dad from other people, I love to hear stories about my dad from other people. He was a really kind man. He was never aggressive. He always seemed to see the light in things. I came home one day, and from just a normal day at school, everything's fine, everything's lovely jubbly. I was doing alright, and well, actually I don't think I was doing alright, because that was the time that my dad told me that he had cancer. And that was during that time my sister she was ran away again, and then me and my dad had to go and find her. And on that point, that was the first time I've ever seen my dad not be able to control himself or whatever, and he was just kind of let it out, and that was quite. It took a bit of time to digest, I guess, but I remember that night just on the phone talking to someone but not telling them what exactly was going on, and I just remember I was in tears for like the whole night. I don't know what I just felt to sabotage things a bit, but I definitely remember that kind of week, especially the first night, just pure sadness. It was it was worry for what the future was going to be, because at that point I realised the future's now uncertain, because, you know, having him tell me that he's got cancer, not telling me that he had any time period, I was just thinking, you know, for all I knew, I don't know what cancer is. You could die tomorrow. You could die, I don't know. I mean, it was the first time I prayed to God, kind of looking up, and I remember, well, I wouldn't say pray to God like Christianity or Buddhism, or just kind of looking up into the sky and just looking like, what have I done to deserve this? The most challenging thing that I kind of faced through the grief of my father, I would say, was learning to accept the loss of control that was around me and my family, and that chaos coming into my life and the people around me, and then that feeling of I now have to go out and find my own support. It was like the control of my dad's life kind of went into other people's hands, and that was a really brutal kind of thing that I had to accept, and that really affected me. What helped me on the way was definitely finding an activity that I could, like, for instance, weightlifting for me, could be any sport, using that negative energy within to put it into something, and just to put it into something and believe in it. I never thought I'd be really good at it, but it was just something that I could let out my emotions on, let out that energy on. This glove, it's a leather glove. I'm not too sure if it's like Italian leather or anything, but it's really soft kind of leather. It has a hole between middle finger and my pointing finger. There's like a split in between. This glove represents one of the objects that reminds me of my dad. This glove was used to handle reptiles, because my dad, when he was younger, he used to buy reptiles from Brick Lane Market when it was legal, and he would raise them for about 6 months. When they got too big for him to look after, he would sell them onto the zoo. When I was about 15 or 16, I came home for my birthday and he bought me a tank full of lizards, and I used these gloves because they had claws, and if I was to feed them, I wouldn't want to get bit. I'm thankful that I've still got one left. I've only got one glove. So this glove kind of reminds me of my dad because he had quite tough skin. For me, it was very hard for me to accept help because I grew up so, you know, so courageous, so on my own feet, kind of. I was always alright, you know what I mean? But then when things collapsed, I had such a big ego. I didn't want to ask anyone for help. If someone is trying to support you, that means that they can see that you need help. That's them trying to help you, and you really should, acknowledge it and take it at an early stage, because it will soften it out. It because if you do leave it for longer, it will become a lot more severe, and the treatment that you need will be more than what would have been earlier on. What I don't understand is why things happened the way they happened. I don't know why the world kind of just collapsed in front of me. I just hope that, um, I hope that, you're in a good place now. I mean, I wish that I could have spent more time with you, and, you're such an amazing person.